5 Rudest Countries That Literally Hate Each Other. The United States of America versus China. The ideological and political gulf between China and the United States has been increasingly apparent over the last several decades. Furthermore, the U.S. strategy is becoming increasingly focused on competing with China. Tensions between the United States and China heightened under Donald J. Trump's presidency as a result of the administration's sanctions and trade penalties against China. After President Biden's election, China voiced optimism for improved ties. Nevertheless, the Biden administration did not reverse the restrictions and tariffs. Instead, the U.S. has rallied other countries to change their relations with China. China has rejected U.S. rhetoric about democracy and human rights, viewing it as a reflection of the legitimacy of their leadership. Ukraine versus Russia. Since the 2014 Ukrainian Revolution, tensions between Russia and Ukraine have been rising. Throughout 2021 and early 2022, Russia heightened the situation by increasing its military presence near Ukraine's border. The United States, Germany, and numerous other nations placed harsh penalties on Russia and made efforts to financially isolate the country. Ukraine has maintained a solid defense, although many locations outside of Kyiv have surrendered to Russian strikes. As the fighting continues, outside analysts and the media have found it difficult to confirm the number of fatalities. According to current estimates, over 64,151 Russian servicemen have perished and at least 107,663 have been injured at this point in the battle. Palestine versus Israel. The U.S. sought to assist prior peace efforts in the West Bank between the Israeli government and the Palestinian Authority. After the Palestinian Authority's dominant party, Fatah, joined forces with Hamas, this endeavor failed. In 2014, a military war erupted between Israel's military and Hamas, resulting in massive Israeli retribution in Gaza. Before Egypt arranged a ceasefire, 2,251 Palestinians and 73 Israelis were assassinated. Unfortunately, attempts at peace in this struggle have not lasted long. In May 2021, 3 days of fighting erupted between the Israeli forces and Palestinian insurgent groups. This followed a court decision in favor of evicting the Palestinian residents of Sheikh Jarrah. The resulting rioting expanded to East Jerusalem, and both sides used non-lethal and lethal force. At the end of the 11-day period, 250 Palestinians had been assassinated and 2,000 had been injured. Iran versus Saudi Arabia. It's not commonly mentioned, but the Middle East is now embroiled in a cold war between Iran and Saudi Arabia. The beginnings of this conflict may be traced back a long distance. But it truly took off in 1979, when Iran deposed its king and became a revolutionary republic. Iran's new revolutionary philosophy posed a direct threat to the Saudi royal family, and both countries have since vied for dominance in the area. They started publicly condemning each other on religious grounds. Most importantly, they are opposed against each other in regional proxy conflicts. Serbia versus Albania. Serbia and Albania are bitter rivals. Their dispute stems mostly from Kosovo, a minor entity that was once part of Serbia. Kosovo gained independence in 2006 after NATO intervened in a conflict between Serbia and Kosovan independence forces. Albania also supported Kosovo, generating a split between Albania and Serbia. 90% of Kosovo's population is ethnically Albanian, and 95% is Muslim. With these ethnic and religious ties, some are now advocating for Kosovo and Albania to be merged into a single entity. Among them is Albania's current Prime Minister. However, this has enraged Serbia, which still considers Kosovo to be a part of its own nation. With Albania having Western supporters and Serbia having a Russian ally, they look to be in a diplomatic impasse. It's as tense as a non-violent conflict can get.